Well, hello and welcome everyone to my YouTube channel. And today we will be solving another lab, which is Verbose. It is an easy rated web app challenge on the HackSmarter platform. So, without any delays, let's just get started into it. I'll just make it full screen. And yep, so I'll just connect with the VPN. So, it is sudo open VPN and this one. Yep. So it is open VPN and yep. Yep. So now we are connected to the VPN. I'll just name this terminal as VPN and this terminal will be for scans. So for renaming a terminal, the shortcut for that is Alt Shift and S. So this will be for scans and let's see at the objective and scope first, just so that we can have an idea of what to do. So, you have been authorized to perform an external penetration test against a target organization. During the initial reconnaissance phase, you identified a application that allows unrestricted public user registration. So, what we can see is that there is no restriction on how many users can register on the platform. And there are three things given here. Enumerate, which means that we have to map out the application's attack surface and see what can be the vulnerability here. And we can exploit that and escalate our privileges. There is also a note from Taylor, which says that there are at least three different ways to solve this lab. If we solve it one way, we can also go ahead and solve it another way. That will be really interesting. I have started the machine, so let's just try pinging the IP and confirm that we are able to access it. Yep. So yes, I think we are able to access it. Now, what we are going to do is that we will scan the IP first. I like to use Ruscan because it is fairly simple to remember the syntax, and you could use any network scanning tool that you prefer, like Nmap. So without any delays, I'll just start my scan. So the syntax for Rust scan is Rust scan tag A, and you paste the IP, and tag is what you do to pass the Rust scan results to Nmap. And if you know your Nmap flags well, the dash capital A stands for running all the enumeration scripts at it. So I'll just hit enter. And right here, we can see that we have port 22 open, which stands for SSH, and port 80, which is the HTTP port. So whenever I see an HTTP port running, I head over to my web browser to have a look at the IP at the web server running. So I'll just hit enter. Yep. So right here we see a login portal, and probably we can also try something like SQL injection. But first thing that we need to do is we need to enumerate the web application and see what are its functionalities. Whenever, guys, I can't emphasize this enough that whenever you come across a web application lab, what I like to do is t- uh, just see and have a look at what each and every functionality of an application does, such as if there is a register functionality, registering as a normal user and try logging in with that user, and try different functionalities, such as if there is an, for example, you are able to update a password, we can do that. So let's, without any further delays, go ahead. Since this is a web app, I'll just open my burp. You could use Kaido as well. Just a second. I'm sorry, this is the wrong thing opened. I'll just open the burp. Yep. So we'll be solving this with community edition of burp. So I would like to use the Chromium browser just because that the HTTP history, it stores that. so it will be easier for me to have a look at all the requests and response. So I'll be using Chromium for that. Yep. So I think it is doing well. I'll just wait for it to start. Just give it a minute. Yeah. So I'll make it full screen. And let me see. Yeah. So our scan is completed. And guys, one more thing that I want to emphasize on is taking notes. Whenever you solve a machine, it is very important that you take notes. I believe that notes serve as your second brain, and whenever you get stuck, it is very important to have your notes set up so that you can have a look at them and see if you have done something similar before, which could be helpful. So port 22 is the SSH port as we said, and the version is OpenSSH 9.6 P1, and the OS is Ubuntu, and nothing really interesting. But port 80, as we said, there is a web server running, and we see that this is using Python in its backend. So yeah, that is an interesting thing to look out for. And we get a HackSmarter portal here title. So we can see that it supports get options head. Okay, so I'll just open up my burp and go head over to proxy and open the browser here. Yep, so it has opened. uh, just a minute. I'll copy the IP and open it in my browser. Yep, I'll copy that and paste it over here. Yep. So this is a login portal. Now I think it will be captured in the burp HTTP history. Yep. So I'll just add this to scopes just so that it only intercepts all those requests. So add to scope. Where is it? Yep. This one. So I'll just add this to scope, and then we'll register as a user. Test maybe. Let's try test and test at mail.com. We'll give it this as pass 123 and register. And then write test pass 123. So we try logging in and we have logged in. Now let's see what are the things available for us. There is a message tab. And guys, right here we have found our users. So we do not need to work very hard on user enumeration. We see that there are other users. The user names are Tony, Johnny, admin, and student. So these are the users present. And let me have a look at profile. So you have a general settings and security settings where you can change password, update email. So let's use pass 1234 and try changing the password and test one at mail.com. We'll try doing that. And what we can see here is email ID updated for user ID 5. So maybe I can think of an IDOR here, maybe. And let's see what the messages tab. Let's try sending a message to Tony, and let's try hello Tony. Let's send him a hello message. Yep. So now let's head over to our burp. So we see that there is a session cookie that is being set here, and let's see. Okay, so there right over we see that there is an API call being made to API forward slash users forward slash all, and right here we have our users, Tony and his password and his role. So we have all the users and their passwords right away. So now what we can do is probably we also have the admin user and his password. But first, I would see as a normal user. Let's try logging in and see if that works. The password, I'll just copy that, and then I log out, and then user Tony, and I'll just enter his password. Try signing in. Yep. So we are in, and now what I can think of is let's head over to profile and see if we can change his email to test1@mail.com, which we can do that. We can probably change his password as well. So now let's try logging in as admin. So it would be admin, and I'll just head over to burp and copy the password. Let's try pasting it over there. Yep, so we paste it over there. Click on sign in. Okay, so we have two-factor authentication enabled for admin user. So there, but one thing that I see, and I always see that as well whenever there is four-digit code or any authentication enabled, there is no time restriction on this four-digit code, which means that we can try to brute force it, and if the OTP or the four-digit code is valid, we'll be logging in as admin. I can think of around two to three ways of certainly doing this. One is using burps intruder, and another way is using Python script, creating a script that does this for you. And one more thing is we can use fof for that. So uh, let's see what we can do. I think we I'll just open a new terminal. I'll rename this as terminal, and then fof hyphen h. So maybe we'll be doing it as this. I'll just try maybe just using something like this. I'll just copy this IP, paste it over there, and then the syntax for this is we'll specify dash w for word list. Okay, so word list, probably you could do something like this. I've already done that. You can create like this using numbers.txt file, and this would just fairly easy to do, and we can create a simple numbers list from 000 to 9999, which is the four digits longest code, and we'll just hit enter. And now we'll use fof hyphen u for URL. I'll specify the URL, and uh, then we have to specify word list, which would be numbers.text. Then our method would be post. Then our data will be something like code and fuzz. Now, I think we need some headers as well, which would be important because as we saw, there is a cookie header being set. So one header would be that would be important to authenticate. So let's just see. Try sending a wrong OTP for a post request. This is invalid, and we would have captured that in burp. Yeah. So this one. One thing that we need to specify is content type. We'll just copy that header, head over to terminal. For header, it is dash capital H flag, and I'll specify that header. And then the another header is just a second, the cookie one. So I'll just copy this cookie section. Just copy this and paste it over there. This one. Now what we need to do is we need to reduce the threads, because by default FF has 40 threads, which means threads are nothing but a number of requests being sent. So when you are particularly trying to use FF, I generally lower the number of threads, because if you send multiple threads at a single uh, tool, like you send it through a single tool, I think the server could crash. So which we do not certainly want it to. That is why we'll lower the number of threads to 25. And then we don't really know the filter code, filter status. So I'll just hit enter and see. Yep. So as we can see, we need to filter uh, filter size for 3111, and I want to filter the code as well, because I'll filter the code 500, because it is for uh, internal server error and we do not certainly need it. So I'll just hit enter. Now let's just wait for it. So I think we have specified all of the things correctly. So we have specified a URL, we have specified the word list, we have specified the method, the data that we want to fuzz, so content type, header cookie, and then we have specified the thread, and then filter size, filter code. So I think this should work. Well, if this doesn't work, then we also have different ways to do that, which is we could also probably create a Python script, because since we are using Burb's Community Edition, we cannot use intruder because it has rate limiting on it. So that would not be a efficient way to do it. Let's just see. Meanwhile, we can just see uh, what are the things we have a forgot password functionality as well. So we can reset the password by using specifying a username. So I'll just specify the user as test and see what it does. If an account has exists with that username, we have sent password reset instruction. Okay. Hmm. Let's see. And if our code is correct, guys, we should receive something like 300 range status code, because it is for redirects. Because if we enter the right code, we will be having a redirect onto the dashboard probably. So let's see. Let's wait for it. Maybe, and I can see this cookie. I think it is something like base 64. So I'll just go to decoder and see that as well. What is it exactly? And decode as base 64. And we have mfa underscore user admin and his session ID that we have it here. Maybe it is, let's see if it is a JWT token. I will head over to jwt.io for checking, just a confirmation. Mm, something like this, enter. Yeah. So it is definitely a JWT token, but yeah, I don't think that There must be something that we can do with this. Okay, so maybe I'll just see something that we have missed out. F of su for URL, and I'll just copy this one, copy URL, paste it over here, specify the word list, that would be numbers.txt, then the request type will be post. Yeah, I got the error what we did. So the error what we were doing is we need to specify code and then equal to fuzz, which we were doing it as semicolon. So I'll just remove this semicolon and hit enter now, which I think this will work for sure. I mean, in normal circumstances, it should work. Let's hope for the best, guys. Meanwhile, there are also different ways to solve it. So I would love to hear if you are able to solve it through a different method, because I think we need to grow together. I'm also learning. If you find something useful or any other different way to do it, do let me know in the comment section and I'll be more happy to know about it. Meanwhile, the requests are okay. Let's see. And guys, 10,000 requests. As we can see, it is a large number of requests that are being sent on the server, web server. So I hope so this works. Yep, so we have got a code. Let's just copy this and see if this works. Hit enter, verify. And guys, we have logged in as admin. Now I'll just stop my FF, and now what we will do is we'll see if there is something interesting for us probably. Head over to messages, there is no message. Profile, the same thing. And then just for persistence, I would remove the two-factor authentication, but in normal circumstance, I would not do that as it is very alarming, or it can give an hint. It can give a hint to the user that his account has been compromised, probably. So we'll head over to admin panel, and we can see we have our user flag here, guys. So you can just go ahead and submit it. Now we can see we have a PNG upload functionality. So what I like to do is I'll have first we saw that there is the backend is using Python Flask, I think, framework, maybe, if I'm sure. I'll just see with my Vaporizer. Yep, so it is using Flask. The web framework Flask is being run on this server. So now I already have a PNG file here, which is untitled PNG underscore original that I gave it. So I'll try uploading that and see if this works. this one, and hit upload and see preview the current logo. Okay, so it is also checking for the images metadata. So for those who don't know about metadata, it is like the data of a data. If it, I would explain in simple words, it is like the data of an image which we are specifying, such as when this image was created, how much is the size. These are all examples of an image's metadata. So we are seeing that it takes artist metadata. So I would certainly try for probably an SSTI over here, which is a server side template injection, since it is using Python and Flask. So maybe let's specify uh, this as XF tool. Yeah, this one, just to confirm if there is any chances of server side template injection. Maybe, let's see. And it has been updated. I'll just see this one, and I'll just choose the file and hit upload. Go preview current logo, and we do get it as 49. So what I can think of now is we can probably directly have a look at the root.txt file, because I think it was present in the /root and root.txt. So I will just let's see. One important thing that I like a site which I always refer to, is hack tricks. So I'll just go here, SSTI hack tricks, and then hit enter. I'll just wait for it to load, and maybe we have a file read available for us. There are ways through which, guys, you can escalate a server side template injection to an RC, but I would not go ahead that far in this case. You can do it if you want, but I will just have a look at how we can read a file. Maybe, let's see. Yep, so I'll try with this, but let's see. Let's see with this. I'll copy that one, and then just head over to XF tool, and give it something like this, and then it is location is /root dot text file. Let's see if this works. Go to choose file, untitled.png, select, upload. Let's see if this works. So preview current logo. Number takes no arguments. Okay. So I'll see some other way for doing this. And guys, it is more of like you playing with different things, playing around with different things and trying different things, which we are certainly sure that there is an SSTI here, and we have confirmed that as well. Now it is all about how you can probably read that root.txt file, and there are certainly different ways to do that. So Let's see. So as we see that there is something that we can probably do, but I am not able to find it in this one right here. So what I will do is I'll just search Google for some SSTI Jinja 2 payloads, as it is Python, so the template would be Jinja 2, I believe. And one other good resource is payload all the things on GitHub. So this is also very useful for doing this. I'll just see if we have something for Jinja 2. Jinja. Nothing seems there, but maybe something interesting that we can probably find out. Uh, I'm looking for, guys. I'm looking for that. Hmm. Something interesting if we can find. I'll go for Python and Jinja 2 basic injection. Yep, guys. So I think this will be helpful to us. I'll try with this, and if this doesn't work, then we'll also try with different things. So it is basically you playing around this. So I'll just use XF tool again and specify dash artist equal to. I'll use this, and then what I would like to do is just cat that root file out, cat slash root dot text, and then the untitled .png, hit enter. So we have updated it, and now I'll try uploading again. Maybe this works. Let's hope for the best, guys. And I'll upload that and preview the current logo. Tuple has object has no element 2. Okay, so there is again an error that we receive. Something that we are missing. Let's see. Let's try and maybe do something like os.pub, this one. Let's try if this works. Xf tool dash artist equal to, and I'll just paste in there. I'll just try and do cat slash root dot text and image, sorry, untitled dot png. Hit enter again. We'll try uploading it. Select enter and upload. Now let's go preview current logo. And guys, we have our user flag here. So now we have fully compromised this web server by gaining the user flag and root flag. So I would really thank you guys, and I really appreciate you guys being here till the end of this video. And thank you for all the love. And I hope we'll be bringing this content like this regular. And if you have not subscribed yet, I highly uh, I want you guys to subscribe because it would be really great. I will be posting this type of content really regularly. So if you guys are interested in hacking or learning hacking, please subscribe to this channel. You'll find it very useful and helpful. So thank you guys. Do hit that. Do hit this like, subscribe, and do all the YouTube algorithm things. Thank you guys, and I highly appreciate you guys being here.